I think it's important, right? Again, in my experience, I've witnessed projects where you commissioned a robot and then you don't have a system in place to not only just train the day of, but also support the customer, I think, with the
Yeah,
journey. Because as you said, not all of them are going to have dedicated teams that can, to some
yeah,
extent, reverse engineer almost the code and the platform to be able to make changes. So I think good
mhm,
interfaces and solid training on an ongoing basis makes sense. Let me ask you, maybe like shifting back to, I think we made a couple of comments that there's many tangents that you can go into as a systems integrator, right? And we've
mhm,
mentioned some of them. It could be maybe vision systems to detect those deviations in the process. You can
yeah.
also start building a conveying systems, and pretty much like your whole cell is a safety system as well. So there's a lot of, I think, different areas. So I wanted to get your thoughts on, as a systems integrator that's looking to get more work, and I'm sure customers are throwing more and more different work that requires different skill set at you, how to manage maybe what you should be taking on and what you should be declining that is maybe outside of your skill set. So how would you advise a systems integrator at a certain stage to think about those decisions?
Yeah, what we learned the hard way, since you mentioned that, there's a lot going on with automation. There's a lot of things you can do, and it gets to be really easy to say yes to everything because it's fun too. Really, if we're in this automation space and we enjoy doing this, that's what we want to do. But from a business standpoint, it's not always good sense. So, what we've been trying to do, because we learned the hard way, is not say yes to everything, but to really become an expert in things that we do good. Keep doing more of what we do good and do less of what we don't do good. So, we want to really focus on that. And that's what we've been doing over the last couple of years, and we find things that we do good. It doesn't have to be a real narrow till you say, "Oh, I only do welding." What we've done is not, it's still vague, but it's really automating manual processes is what we're talking about. So that's what we found that we do very well, and we've tried to focus on that. And then what we'll do is a lot of times the customer might have something that sounds really cool. It sounds like it would be fun to do, but it's outside of really what we do good. So we partner with other people. So we say, hey, we don't do that, but these guys over here, they're really good at that. They do that very well. And we've worked with them before. So we'll do that sometimes where we just don't say no, but we say, hey, this other company here, they do that well. And that's worked out good for us because we've partnered a lot where we may have a little overlap, but we work together well because there may be something that same partner comes across somewhere that they don't do well and we do well. So there's that too, that we work together. So that's what we found. And as we've started to do that, we found that's really helped us. When you can focus on that, it helps with quite a few things. When you start getting some systems and procedures in place, you get more efficient because you're focused on the things you do good. And then if you really get it down to where we'd like to do, we have our own types of certain products that we offer. Then you start talking, and now you're getting down to where you have same parts you use, you can stock them. That becomes more efficient. You can get better pricing. And then once you start becoming an expert too, you get a little more customer loyalty, and then you get really less competition because once you become that expert and that you defined and you're doing, then you have your customers coming to you. You're the expert in that field. So you reduce some of your competition, you get some customer loyalty, and then your really from a business standpoint, your margins in that can get better because of what I just said. You can be more efficient. You have a lot of those processes already in place that you've refined and got them now to a point where when you put a system in, you can do it much faster. There's less programming, there's less design time, and you have those components that you'll usually use. So you really understand those because a lot of what you get into as well as integration, there's so many different manufacturers of products and everything out there that, and they're all could be similar, like you mentioned, like vision. They can be similar, but there's a learning curve there. The software, the interface, a lot of that. So once you start to really narrow down your focus, then you can narrow down to those products you use and you can get very efficient with them too.